Let me start doing attendance. I know Chris is doing it there, but we are live streaming. Okay, so we do have a quorum, Chris? All right, so. What do you want, Bernadette? You want this or you want that?
You have a chair, right? You have a chair over there? Or wherever. I don't want you to have to stand up.
Initial, not time.
That is me, that's Susie.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Debbie's gonna stand over. Yeah.
So we don't.
So when you're ready. When you're ready. So you can go whenever you want. Just push it up.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Today is the okay, welcome, everybody. Tonight is the full board meeting of Bronx Community Board 11, Thursday, March 28, 2024, 7 p.m. We're here at Einstein College of Medicine, Lubin Hall. And we are going to start our agenda, of course, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Can everybody stand, please?
It's north.
Okay.
It's like
Basically.
Okay. I pledge allegiance stand for a moment, please, for those silence for all fallen first responders and medical and military service personnel, and for those suffering throughout the world. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Before we start our meeting, I'm going to ask the Sergeant of Arms to speak about the code of conduct statement.
Thank you. Hello? All right, cool. Oh, it's supposed to be back. That's fine. Let's try this. Hello? Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Start. Community Board 11 meetings must be held in a professional, hostile-free environment. The following rules of conduct are applicable to members of the public, Community Board 11, and Community Board 11 staff. Any action or behavior that disrupts or interferes with Community Board 11 business will not be tolerated during any Community Board 11 meeting and may result in the individual being asked to leave. If the action or behavior continues, this may be considered disturbing the peace and appropriate authorities may be summoned. If the meeting is held remotely, the person may be muted or expelled for the remainder. Repeated violations by the same person or people may result in further action by the committee report. All public speakers must address the full board or the committee with their concerns. Electioneering for a position other than an officer committee board 11 is prohibited. Engaging in acts of violence, including threats, are grounds for immediate suspension of the right to attend meetings pending review by the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. Respect the equality, diversity, and privacy of all persons by respecting and valuing differences of culture and opinion. Refrain from unpleasant or disparaging remarks and other actions. Abstain from all forms of harassment by actively discouraging. Disseminating false information is prohibited. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with the gallery session. Our first speaker is Robert Press.
We went now. Okay, I'm going to speak on the two Metro North resolutions. The 20 items, I'll go one by one. Ready? Okay, as for the Metro North resolution, 20 items, I'll go one by one if I can. Item number one, an R6 zone can go up to 85 feet with MIH. Number two, I have no answer for because I don't know if they're going to build your schools or not. Number three, CB11 must hire their own independent consultant, as other boards have done in the past with items like this. Number four, it seems like affordable housing is already in the plan. Number five, senior veteran housing should have been presented to city planning during their presentation. Number six, more green space. As I said, R6As go up to 85 feet and they go to property lines, so there will not be any green space by the buildings. Number 7 through 9 and even 14 are up to the developers, and the two members of Local 79 who sit on the board can attest to the union jobs, as there is a building going up that went up on Seminole nearby that had no union jobs. Number 10, economic development. I don't know how you're going to do that. 11 should be your number one item, since there is no way to get to the station except for an e-scooter, we were told. So shuttle bus service should be throughout a half-mile radius of the two stations in CB11 area. I don't know what type of parking you can talk about. Number 12. Number 13, the MTA police are really for bridges and tunnels. The 49th precinct is down to 74 police officers, according to the executive officer of the precinct as of Tuesday, to my question of the manpower at the 49th precinct. Items 15 through 19 should come in as what is known as a community benefits agreement, worked out by the local city council member, Christy Maramato, who covers the entire CB11 part of this process. Number 20, the infrastructure. Your committees should be talking about this with their various city agencies at their committee meetings. Now, as for who will see these requests, I am sure that Councilwoman Christy Maramato, who is working with city planning on this rezoning, which I didn't get a 30-second warning. Can I just get 15 more seconds, Madam Chair? Okay. She's working on the rezoning, which includes taking away 140 parking spaces on East Chester Road that she is opposing. I'm sure she will look at your request. I hope the borough president will. As for city planning and the mayor, good luck. Any questions? No questions? Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Robert. Okay, next speaker up is Grace Marrero.
Good evening. Before we start, I'd like to ask for extra time because this is serious. What I'm about to, Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm gonna go over, but I'm just asking in advance to allow that, okay? I'm here tonight, my name is Grace Marrero. I'm here tonight to rebut the statements made against me and my organization by Larry Muriello at the transportation meeting. He's saying because my street activity permit is up for review. which it was in January, and we went through all of it in January. So somebody, Debbie, had Larry waiting there at this meeting. There was no reason for him to be there. He had no street activity permits on the agenda. There was no reason for him to be there or to speak, and Hazel did try to stop it. He's saying that I have nothing to do with Allerton, I'm only Barnes Avenue, I'm this, I'm trying to hijack this, that, and the other thing. You can go back and watch it on YouTube. I've been here in this area, this neighborhood, since 1969, long before Larry, long before anybody else that wasn't even born at the time, current leaders, okay? I've been here long before that. I started as a parent leader, and I've worked my way into other things. So for him to say that just goes to show they're trying to stop my permit. I put in a permit for resurgence of the Allerton Food Festival. It hasn't been done in about 4 years. I get asked by people in my community, when is it gonna happen? So I'm trying to put that together. So instead of working with me, they wanna come and try to shut me down. And that's not gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, it's gonna happen because I can't get it done. But nobody's gonna shut me down. It's a legitimate street activity permit. I put these permits in 2022. So I don't want to hear this nonsense that I'm not from Allerton and I can't do anything Allerton, that I didn't ask permission to do my activity on Allerton. Somebody thinks they're the boss of Allerton. No, sorry. The second part of my up here is my complaint. I have a complaint against Deborah Kowalik. She's been trying to shut down my activities since last year. At the January meeting, okay, all right. At the January meeting, she brought up this nonsense that she got all kinds of phone calls for complaints. I don't believe that. I mean, anybody can call her. Who has her phone number? She doesn't even come to Allerton. So that was a lie. That was a lie. I explained to her there was no problems, any problems that she may have said. She keeps repeating the same lie over and over and over again. And we discussed it. I thought it was settled. Come March, I wasn't called to the March meeting because it's not a new permit. You guys have a new rule that if it's a renewal, you don't call the person for these things. Can I have? Oh, okay, all right, so let me just give you, I emailed the complaint to the ethics committee. I have it here in writing. Make sure you get it. Because something needs to be done, because she keeps lying about me and she's looking for the Allerton International Merchants.
So 2 points of clarification. Larry Moriello happens to be the president of the Allerton International Merchants Association. So that is why he was at the meeting and that is why he was speaking on behalf of Allerton, because he is the president and he has been for quite a while. So he does have every right to be, like any other public person, a right to be at that meeting. Second of all, Debbie Kowalik has been a very big part of the Allerton International Merchants Association. She has helped us with various events. And she has been a member of it for quite a while now. So that's just 2 points of clarification. Thank you.
Can I clarify something?
Can I also say something?
Yes? Larry is the
Yes.
president in name only. He's the president of Allerton International Merchants. He is not the president of
Okay.
Allerton.
Okay, but we have a question or we have a statement. Go ahead, Deb.
I did not have Larry come to last month's meeting. Larry went there on his own accord. It's on the internet. He saw what was on the agenda. He went there on his accord. I did not call him and say, come to this meeting. He went on his own. That's number one. Number two, as Veronica stated, I've done a lot of stuff with the Allerton merchants. I'm always there. So you can't say I'm not on Allerton and that I'm not a part of that. And I also, you're saying that I said derogatory things or stuff like that. You're the one who Okay.
Okay, all right, this, it's not gonna be a back and
Right.
forth.
I just wanna clarify something,
No,
because
No, that is no,
in January, she said.
no, we're not going back. We're not going back into that.
She specifically said it was the.
We're not.
Okay, I understand that. If there is an issue, you have an ethics complaint, we'll take it up there, okay? Thank you. Next, need the next speaker? Thank you.
next speaker is Lori Peterson.
Okay, as I was looking at the agenda, I saw 20 conditions that you were asking for with the Metro North approval. I want to thank you for listening. But what I did not see is one condition that more than one of us spoke out against on Monday. The building proposal on Seminole and Morris Park Avenue. It will be an eyesore with all the single-family homes over there. I would like for you to add that to your list of conditions. Please let me know if you will be please let me know if you will be adding this to your letter, because I know the letter needs to go out shortly. We didn't move into this community to be surrounded by buildings. We did because of the low density area. They are attacking Indian Village. Rikers Island pre-trial detainees on one side of Seminole and the other side of Seminole up to a 12-story building. We don't want it. So I urge you to add this to your conditions. And once you get a response from the concerns, I would like for you to keep the community updated.
Laura, I'm sorry, just one question.
Yeah.
Can you, I know I did hear the address at the hearing. What's the address of that building?
1201 Morris Park Avenue.
Okay, can we record that, please? Awesome.
And is that something that we're gonna be able to put in the condition? Yes, okay, thank you.
Turn it off.
Well, okay, yeah, no, you would definitely be able to add that, Lori, definitely. Okay, next is Ms. Rochelle Mendina.
I wanted to thank you all for taking our concerns into consideration. It's appreciated that you did hear us and are bringing those concerns to the city. I do have a follow-up to what Lori just said. I'm wondering how Montefiore got, well, whoever owns the building, it's a mystery right now, but how they got special zoning. It's not near, there's a zone section and then there's a building that's not like in the zone section. So I don't know why it's separated from where it is, but it's like a special zoning spot. It's just for that one building. So I'm just very curious about why it was given to them like that. So I don't know if it could be looked into. I mean, I could send you something like that I've seen
Yes,
at the city of Yes.
because we could look into it on the environmental assessment study, and then there's more detailed. All of the information is on the portal zone for anybody to go and look through it. They're 100 pages, 200 pages, whatever, but they go into the EIS goes into much more detail about specific areas. So if you could send that, then we can kind of look into it.
Okay, I'll do a little research to see. I just wanted to, stress that, one moment. Thanks. You know that 50% of New Yorkers are planning to leave New York City within 5 years. The quality of life here is deteriorating, and they just keep chipping away at people like us that are working hard and trying to, stay in a nice community. There are thousands of NYCHA and over 25,000 rent stabilized apartments that are vacant and that would be available if the city would adjust some of their issues about correcting those problems in those apartments. Why not start with those apartments so they don't have to come into our neighborhood and make, 25 buildings, and maybe they could only do 10 buildings instead. I live behind Jacoby, and you've heard this before, but You can provide parking during the day, and I can't imagine what's gonna happen now when everybody's riding their bike to the train and they're not gonna do that in the dead of winter, you know, and they're gonna park and there's unless they have garages that they're paying for, because now it's not even required to put a garage. And so unless somebody wants to make money off of it, I see that's the only reason they can be putting a garage in there. And where are all those bikes gonna go? I mean, are there gonna be thousands of racks for all the commuters? What about the people that have to go with their kids to a sporting event or, you know, practice or shopping? Are they gonna have those e-scooters? They're gonna have a little wagon on the back and ride around with their kids in the back and their, you know, their groceries? I mean, some of the ideas they're coming up with, they don't jive. There's no sense to what, you know, what's available for the type of structures and the amount of people that they wanna, you know, put in. You know, we don't have a supermarket. How are we gonna get, I know you did put that in there, but how, if you have to travel far, how are you getting your stuff back if they don't want us to have any cars? You know, I mean, it's just, the cost is gonna be high for people. They're gonna have to park their car, take the Metro North. I'm not against Metro North. I think it'll be great, but I just think it's gotta be put in perspective. There's just way too much of what they wanna do. And, you know, a little bit here and a little bit there, we can all, you know, contribute, but, you know, that's it. So if you just stress that to them, like, to get it under control.
Thank you. I'm just gonna respond to that. Just know that the concerns, the community's concerns are our concerns also. And that's just, we're all on the same team. Most of us have been here for decades and decades, and, you know, my family came in over a century ago in, the area of Venice. So, and we've worked hard to build up Morris Park, the whole corridor from dirt, then cable cars, et cetera. So just know that the concerns are being heard, and we wanna make sure that we have a win-win situation. Development is gonna be coming, that you can't deny that. It's just a matter of, oh, am I getting time too? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. But just understand that we're all on the same side. Okay, next is Patricia Cambria.
As a member, as a member of TIVA, the Indian Village Alliance, and a resident of the Morris Park community, I would like to voice my concerns along with the concerns of my neighbors. We attended the Metro North meeting on Monday, March 25th, and expressed our concerns about the upzoning that is going to take place in the community. We feel as a community organization, this will impact our community tremendously. Expanding a low-density community will have tremendous effects on our infrastructure, zoning, and placement of people. Our infrastructure can barely handle what our residents currently have experienced. When it rains, the majority of us are impacted with flooding. Most of us will receive at least 1 foot of water in our basements. The streets become flooded and undrivable. And about 2 years ago, as we said the other night, Radcliffe Avenue collapsed and created a huge sinkhole where cars were swallowed. And this happened more than one time. Right now, currently on Williamsbridge Road between Rhineland and Neal, the street looks like it's about to cave in due to the flooding in the neighborhood. The sewer systems are old and they have not been upgraded in over 40 years. This is a low-density community with most buildings not reaching more than 6 stories high. We live in a low-density community and we would like to keep it that way. Most of our buildings can barely handle the infrastructure that's here already. We're requesting that no buildings go higher than 6 stories. Changing the zoning will have a tremendous impact on the facade of the community. We have fought for many, many years to keep it a low-density community, and expanding it will put us into a strain. And oh my God, I'm getting nervous. We also are requesting, can I have just a few minutes because I'm almost done? We also are requesting that The building located at 1201, that's what I really wanted to talk about. Morris Park Avenue will not be zoned no more than 3 stories high. 1201 Morris Park Avenue cannot be zoned because it will not blend with the aesthetics of the characteristics of our homes located directly beside it, behind it and around it. It will be a complete eyesore, as Lori said, and it will block the sunlight, and our air zone rights are not protected. And really, it will fall under the nuisance law, which says that it should not block any of the sunlight. We have the right to protect it and we also have airspace rights as well. This is when a new property owner enters and uses the airspace above the properties without permission. We as homeowners have the right to protect our airspace from unauthorized use. And parking, I just cannot stress enough about the parking. I know that, okay, I know we fight with Montefiore and Jacoby every day because their own workers cannot even find parking because they don't even give the parking for them. So if you can help us with this parking, because it's been said over and over and over again, parking is a big issue.
So I know Mr. D'Angelo's having a problem with his camera, but if you're a board member, just remember to keep your camera on so you're marked present for attendance.
Okay, so we are. What's the name?
Illegal Aid Society.
So, yeah, we spoke, I'm sorry. So we'll call it.
Excuse me, Jeremy, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Because I see everyone, but no one can see me. I think.
Yeah, your video's not on. Oh, something's. No, we still don't have video, Al, just to let you know.
There is no video?
It's black. Are you in a dark room?
Perhaps his Florida tan is outshining.
So,
What is,
yeah, I don't know what to tell you now. I mean, I know Tiz came over. So just do your best, right? Just hang in there. Right? So go ahead. She'll just remind me or tell everybody who we are since I made that mistake. Sorry.
My name is Taylor James. I'm a staff attorney with the Legal Aid Society Main Development Project. We wanted to reintroduce ourselves to the community and let them know that we offer free legal services to small businesses as well as nonprofits. And right now we've set up a virtual clinic that people can attend virtually and do not have to come down to our offices. And we've left the flyers at the front table.
any questions?
Information's on the. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our next speaker is Ronnie Colangelo.
Hey, hello, how's everybody? Nice meeting Monday. Small room, had a hard time finding it. With a few other people that are sitting here with me. But what can you say? The man kept saying one word over and over, density, density. We need density. I think he's dense. He wants to put 12-story buildings here. It's bad enough we're gonna have the boys down the block at 1900. Again, we see another career criminal murdered a police officer the other day. Are these the kind of people that are gonna let stay in this place? Oh no, they're gonna be fine. You worry about nothing. It's all good, it's all good. I don't think so. Somebody sent out a thing about nobody's making any money on this. So these people are sick, they're staying in the hospital's not charging anybody, it's all gonna be free. Which is okay, but I'd like to have free insurance too, I guess I should commit a crime. But then again, maybe I do. So anyway, it was nice, Monday was good, next time maybe a bigger room, thanks.
Thank you. Any questions from anybody? Okay. Our next speaker is Lisa DiTomaso.
Ready? Okay. Good evening. First, I want to thank the members of the community board who spoke out regarding their concerns with Metro North and all of the proposed changes. I loved all of the ideas like brownstones that people can own instead of 20-story buildings that will keep people renting for years. I think the concerns about flooding, infrastructure, schools, fire department, police department, etc., are all valid and important. My concern is parking. I work in Co-op City, and I need to arrive there 1 hour before I have to, just to drive around and look for a spot. Sometimes I have to park more than a half a mile away and walk to my job. And forget about Wednesdays and Thursdays when there's alternate side. I know many residents in Co-op City who drive around for up to an hour after working all day with kids in the car. This significantly impacts their precious time that they get to spend with their children after work and school. Although there are parking garages, some families cannot afford $15 a day to park there. I thank you for adding parking to the list, but it only said parking with no specifics. With Jacoby taking away 2 parking lots on their campus, that is going to add significantly to the problems we have with parking already. I live in Indian Village, and there's always someone waiting for my spot in the morning. If I show up in the middle of the day, there is absolutely no parking. With the thousands of added residents proposed, the quality of life for anyone who has and needs a car will be significantly impacted. My request is that we require parking for all proposed Metro North stations. So I'm done with my speech, but I do have a question. It only said parking. Is there more specifics in terms of requirements for parking? And we voted, if you plan to vote yes, will the conditions that you've put, those 20 conditions, do they have to adhere to those?
Right, this is a list, but there is more detail with parking. For instance, around the Morris Park train station, there will be more options to park because you have the Metro Hutch, you've got Calvary, you've got other parking areas. So, but around Parkchester, Van Nest, where there will be none. Maybe just loading and unloading, but there'll be parking, there's different options for parking. It's what we'll be able to negotiate. And that these are all negotiating parts that almost, give you an example. If you're a landlord and you have a lease, okay, you have a boilerplate and you have a rider. Okay, your rider gives specific customizations to your contract, and that's our yes will be determined with what we will be able to get. If for some reason they say, well, no, doesn't matter what it is, there's nothing that you have on the list that we can give you, then our answer is no. So that is, but because the development is going to be happening, and so these are our negotiating parts. Parking is a big issue. It is always has been a big issue. It's a big issue in Parkchester, it's a big issue in Co-op City, it's a big issue everywhere. For them not to be taking that as a priority, as something important, we'll be fighting for it.
I work in Co-op City and I see these huge buildings, and I know sometimes I have to walk a half a mile from my car to my job. I can't imagine what these families go through every single night, circling the blocks, looking for parking, carrying 3 kids with them. And the proposed changes in Morris Park is going to be all of these buildings and all of these thousands of people, and there's no parking garages. It's going to significantly impact quality of life for everyone.
I'm in agreement.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Diana Finch.
Ready? So on the Bronx Metro North, on the request for more NYPD police, the metric that the environmental impact statement uses is a new neighborhood created? And they said no, so no more police needed. But if we're getting 16,000 more residents, at this week's 49th Precinct Council meeting, the captain said, take the number of 911 calls per current population, figure out how many more you'd have with the added population. And that's the metric that the city and the NYPD will respond to. On the request for R6A zoning throughout, this is practically not feasible, I think, when it's combined with the MIH and the affordability percentages. And I think the City Planning Commission will just rule it out on that basis. Zoning is very complex. It's not just height, but the amount of green space, the distance from the street, is the street wide or narrow, the amount of parking included. And for a large site like 1601 Bronxdale, for which plans are already, I understand, underway, you need an R7 because that is what requires added green space. So I'd like to ask the board to reconsider that. And then finally on voting, if every member could remember, please, that to abstain from a vote is effectively the same as voting no. Because yes votes are counted against the total number present. And you need a majority of yes over the no plus the abstentions in order for a vote to pass. So if everyone could remember that. And that's, I think, unique to the boards. It's not following Robert's Rules of Order. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay. All right, we're on to our next is Brian Adams. Come on, Brian.
Hi, how you doing? Good evening. I wanna know, what branch of Metro North will the new trains come? Will the new trains, right, is it from Connecticut or, I believe it's from Connecticut, Stamford, New Haven. Is that right?
Yes.
New Haven, right? I just wanna know. Okay, thanks very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, our next speaker is Manuel Martinez, New York Public Library.
Representing the library today. Good evening, everyone. So lots happening at the Allerton Library. Last time I thought 2 minutes was good enough. I actually went over, so I'll get started. On Monday, April 29th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to be running what's called the Allerton Play Date. And this is for early literacy, so it's from birth to about 3 years old. We're going to be transforming our entire second floor into like this playground and work on early literacy skills. We're going to be giving away goodie bags that has like little egg shakers and items that you can practice with at home with your children, doing story time at home and practicing all those activities. So we'll be giving those away for free. Also on Monday, April 8th at 3 p.m., we're going to be doing a solar eclipse party. And as of tomorrow, all libraries are going to be distributing solar glasses. So if anyone needs the solar glasses, they could go into any New York Public Library and receive solar glasses. There is a waiver form that needs to be signed in order to receive those. So just be prepared to sign one of those. But Monday, the 8th, we'll be doing a solar eclipse party beginning at 3 p.m. and we'll have snacks and refreshments available. Wow.
You can have another,
No, I'll make it quick. Honestly, there's one more. The most important one is we are going to be starting English conversation classes. These are informal drop-in classes. These are going to be every Thursday from 11 to 12:30, on top of the formal classes. So you all know we reopened on January 29th. Those classes were moved to a different location. Those classes will be returning. This is, so the informal classes, the drop-in ones will be happening every Thursday and they started today. That's from 11 to 12:30. But the formal ones that you actually got to sign up for and come to every session, those will be beginning at the end of this month on the 22nd.
Okay.
So on Monday, April 22nd, yeah.
Do you have a calendar that you can post on the website and also send to Jeremy so that we can send it out by email?
Yes, I'll be getting all that information out.
Great.
Hi, Manny, quick question. You say the New York Public Libraries will be giving out classes. I know people upstate were looking for them. Is it all over New York State Public Libraries that are doing it?
No, this is I'm only speaking on behalf of the New York Public Library. So any library in Bronx, Manhattan, or Staten Island.
Okay, thank you.
As far as solar classes in upstate, if they can get to a rest area along the thruway, they're giving.
Any other questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, our last speaker is Ralph Schweitzer. Welcome, Ralph.
Okay, hello, how about welcome back? All right, what's up, everybody? Let's chew this place up. Anyway, I don't think I can do the introduction. I only have 2 minutes. So, it's been a while. Just wanted to, I put flyers on the table. I'm going to be embarking on a 5-borough comic book store tour. Now, oh, hello. Now you may think, what is that? So comic book stores, you know what they are. They're very important for preserving culture. They're a place for people to mingle, especially young adults. And yes, they are in danger, but there's a lot more than you may think. So the past few months, I've done lots of research, and there are about 35 in the 5 boroughs, and they are all on this flyer right by Chris Kirka. You can take one. I will be starting the events when the weather warms up, without Mother Nature teasing us, probably May or June. And feel free to come join. We'll be making our way through all the stores. There are 5 in the Bronx. The closest one to here is Collector Cave in Pelham Bay. Yes. So yes, that's the first thing. I also left some other flyers. You may have noticed I'm wearing a Salt and Pepper shirt. You know why? You know why? This is a notice for old dog walkers that you gotta scoop. No. All right, good. All right. You're my test audience, so I think it went well. And also, 35 seconds. I'll invite all of you to the 10th annual Kuwait's Place Block Party. It is back. It will be on Saturday, June 15th. All are welcome. Animals, humans, aliens, everyone. I mean, UFOs, you know, anyway. 20 seconds. What else is it? So for the speakers from Morris Park, I just wanted to make it known that I think the city charter should be amended, and that the community boards, what they say about land use matters, I think it should be binding and not advisory. So that's all I gotta say.
Are there any questions?
If the board may permit me, so Raphael, if you don't mind me pointing this out. Yes. He's been going to basically every community board meeting throughout the entire city. Have you touched every borough yet?
No, yes. Yes. You
haven't gone to Staten Island.
Well, not for their community board meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, but either way, each meeting he goes to, he text messages a screenshot of their agenda.
He just no more private communication. It's all out there.
Oh, come on. I mean, look.
Go.
No. I think it's important because it shows what other community boards are doing. And what I want to do with the board at some point is I want to sit down with you individually or as a group. I want to go, we can start with something I'm familiar with, websites, looking at what other people are doing that we like, because a lot of people like to say what Community Board 10 is doing or 11 is doing, that this board's not doing that. You know, it's good, when he sends me that stuff, it's good to see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that what they're doing is right or wrong, it's just, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So if I may respond, kind of, sir. I'm just kidding. So I went to these board meetings for 8 or 9 years or so, and I really only went to maybe 1 or 2 others in the Bronx. And if you really have the time, try to go to one in Brooklyn or Queens. Manhattan's fine, but Brooklyn or Queens, especially Queens. I've been to 6 in Queens, and Community Board 2 in Queens. It's just so vibrant, and actually, I just want to mention, it's very refreshing to see so many women in leadership in Community Board 11. That's a big change since the last time I've been here, and just the diversity of age, ethnicity, everything has gotten a lot better. And Veronica's smiling at me. Anyway, but please, if you do have the time, and I would have thought, oh, I gotta go to all these Community Board meetings. I look forward to it because I only have to go to one. I don't have to go back. So, you know, get outside the box, and the 5 boroughs. It's not a city. It's not even a country. It's an entire world. So get out there.
All right, thank you. That's good advice. Good advice. Okay, I think that we're done. We're done with all our speakers. Okay, we are on to the chair report. I'm going to be very brief. Just for the month of March was March 17th was St. Patrick's Day, and the Bronx St. Patrick's Day Parade was on Sunday, March 10th, and that was over in Bronx Neck. And for Ramadan, it started on March 11th, and it's a 30-day observance. We do have Palm Sunday, that was March 24th, and Easter is this Sunday, March 31st. Purim was March 24th, and the Hindu holy day of Holi was March 25th. So this was a very, very, I hate to say the word religious, but it was a very holy month. So I wanted to start my report with a big thank you to a lot of the board members that have been stepping up to the plate, especially with so many important issues that we are being faced with, deciphering, getting to know, getting more details, things that are affecting our community, many of our communities, all throughout not only Community Board 11, but Community Board 10, really all of District 13. So I want to thank everybody who is stepping up to the plate. And some people more than others have been doing overtime. And I just want to give a big shout out. And also to Jeremy and the staff, everybody has been working overtime, and also to the community that really is giving input. It's very important that we hear, and it's very important that we have a spectrum of understanding of what is important in our community. Not just what everybody wants, but having ourselves moving forward, having development, but finding a way that everybody is going to benefit from it, and not just one percentage or a few percentage. So I really do want to put that out there. And I want to thank everybody for coming to the for the public hearing. And please look at our community board website, because in April, there are a lot of important meetings that's happening with both the City of Yes and with Metro North. And please try to get as much as you possibly can. It is important that the community is informed, and it's important that our board members are informed. April and May, up until June and maybe going into August, it's going to be very busy. So everybody just tighten your seatbelts. write down your list of things that you can go to, ask questions, and just show up. Show up for whatever it is that you're advocating for, and just make your presence known. Speak to your neighbors, speak to the people on your block, just light a fire everywhere you possibly can. These are our communities that we are working for, and we want to preserve, and that we want to work on building and moving forward, but finding a win-win situation. So thank you. That's my report.
And for the treasurer's report, I have not received the information that I usually get from the mayor's office and the VP's office that I use for my treasurer's report. I can only assume that's because of the holiday, and I did not take that into account because they're usually very responsive and they usually send it to me right away. So I expect to get the information probably Monday, and as soon as I get it, I'll prepare the report and get it out to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, we are into the secretary's report. Are you?
So we did we still have to publish the minutes. So I asked Hazel before the meeting started, stay on top of this, make sure we get that done. It's usually it's basically Harry and I doing the full board meeting minutes. Which is one thing I'm doing right now in terms of, because like when we have this sign-in versus the online registration, sometimes it's easy to lose track. So that's one thing I'm doing right now. So then I guess, unless there's anything you need to say, Hazel, we'll go to Veronica. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. All right, so nothing from Malcolm, right? All right, so yeah. So where are we going in April? Can't be here in April. Go to the Bronx House. You know, I got complaints about that already. Some people like the idea. I like the fact that we have a place, no question about it. I mean, if you want another place, I need your assistance in helping secure the location. I understand you used to live by the Bronx House. I know how it is.
But it's even worse because of the Con Ed.
Yeah, no, that I understand. So I need to know like sooner rather than later. Ideally, we just, that was at leadership. When we discuss this at leadership, we can, but I need a deadline. I don't want to be waiting until like a week out and not have an application. So yeah, we can try Maestros, but it'd be nice to try something different right now. Because last time we were at Maestros, we were shoved into the basement, and then we had conspiracy theories going on. That was done on purpose on our part.
What about back at the hotel?
Yeah, what about the Marriott?
I mean, some people are not sure that's, I mean, we already got a complaint tonight that that's too small.
How is that too small?
So. No, so how about this? So we don't waste too much time. I'm gonna meet with the recording company at the Bronx House on Monday. We need to decide this by the end of next week. All right? So if I don't hear anything, we have anything suitable. Bronx House. Okay? Yes, I understand there's no parking, but you gotta consider that this is part of our district, and has everybody been to the Bronx House here? Is everybody familiar with the Bronx House?
Yeah.
Every single person. I hear one no. I'm sure there's more than one no. I understand this is too much, but seriously, we need to get this figured out. Yes. Well, Naomi, can you give her the microphone?
Why don't you take a vote about Bronx House now, so you don't have to wait till 11th hour? Okay?
I mean, I'm happy with that. Somebody want to make a motion?
We don't need to vote Bronx House. What you should do, have the meeting with Bronx House, see if it's technological, if it's able for us to be done for technology, then fine. If we can't secure any other spot, then Bronx House as it is. It shouldn't be a discussion or argument. Let's just get this done in an efficient manner and move on.
Thank you. So, Yeah, recycling, I already sent an email about that, a homeless shelter walkthrough, I did get some responses about that. Please let me know by the end of tomorrow who's interested in doing a walkthrough, the homeless shelters of our district. Just remember that these shelters are not built yet, so, I mean, one is maybe 3/4 of the way done. It's not like something we can actually walk into. So it'd be more or less a street site visit. So we have one at Poplar, we have one at Blondell, Cold Avenue door. Just remember when you're at the office, when it's cold, the cold months, the door tends to stay open. So the door is closing now because it's been warmer, but that's just something to keep in mind when you're at the office. Sometimes people creep in there, you're not aware of it.
Okay, and just a little note about places. There's a lot of auditoriums, and Grace, you were the one that brought that idea up. There's PS 83 to have meetings, etc. But there are no parking lots with the schools. The only school that does have a parking lot, which I wasn't even aware of, is St. Clair's. So just
PS 83, the main schoolyard does double as a parking lot.
So they basically, if we. Okay, but I just wanted to point that out, that there's a reason why a lot of the schools. I'm moving. Committee reports. Okay, next is our leadership.
Okay, so we have a few motions here. So the first one is a motion that Community Board 11 send written correspondence to the School District 11 Superintendent, PS 105's principal, and the School Construction Authority in support of the Communities and Parent Teacher Association's request to make PS 105 a pre-K through 8th grade. This was voted at leadership, so we don't need a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The second motion, that Community Board 11 submit to the New York Yankees Community Council the following names for this year's Youth Leadership Award. Victoria Tapone, submitted by Allerton Avenue Homeowners and Tenants Association. Stephanie Ramos, submitted by Friends of Pelham Parkway. Stephen D. Tomaso, submitted by Morris Park Community Association. Jandria Butler, submitted by the New York Public Library. And Ashlyn Serrano, submitted by the Van Ness Neighborhood Alliance. Again, this was voted at committee, so no second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Any objections? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Third motion, that Community Board 11 provide funds in support of the venue, Brady Court Community Center, fee of $600 for the Community Development and Budget Priorities Committee's second annual Juneteenth event. No second needed. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Any objections? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Fourth motion, that Community Board 11 send written correspondence to the school district. That's a repeat, okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Number 5, motion that Community Board 11 recommend approval of city planning's rezoning proposal for the area surrounding CB 11's Bronx Metro North stations, provided the following conditions. 1, capping zones to R6A. 2, 3 STEM schools. 3, independent infrastructure flooding assessment. 4, affordable housing. 5, seniors and veterans housing. 6, creation of more green spaces. 7, MWBE certification for construction jobs. 8, contractors for various projects to come from Community Board 11 Bronx. 9, local businesses to have first right of refusal. 10, economic development for the community. 11 shuttle service available, 12 parking, 13 more MTA police and NYPD presence, 14 union jobs, 15 community center, 16 increase in pharmacies at CB11, 17 art and culture center, 18 library, 19 supermarket, 20 improved infrastructure. And 21, we have building proposal for 1201 Morris Park, that it's an eyesore and will not go well with the infrastructure of the area. Okay, no need for a second. Any discussion?
I have to recuse myself from this vote as I am an employee for Monty, so I don't, just to be ethical.
Okay, thank you, Malcolm. Edgar, you have your hand up. Someone please pass Edgar a microphone.
Hold on. Veronica, I'd like to make an amendment, number 14, just to clarify. These are union construction jobs for the housing development portion of the Metro North.
For the, I'm sorry, for the what portion? For the housing portion? Okay, thank you.
Can you just make sure to clarify when this is due to the city?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, first thing, quick question, and then a follow-up based on the answer to that question. Are we limited to a yes or no response to this, or can we give like a conditional yes, conditional no?
These are the conditions.
Or yeah, it's either approved, disapproved, like unapproved, whatever, or, like in between.
These are the conditions.
Alright, okay, going off of that then, naturally, I attended a public hearing meeting last Monday, and I heard a lot of concerns, and a lot of this I agree with. And it's a bit of a, and when I kind of like read this list off, it feels like kind of give a good paraphrasing, a kid giving a Christmas list, and it's like 20 different things, and there's a lot of stuff here that I agree with, but I feel like we need to be a bit more specific. And we also need to come up with what are like our main priorities. Like what of these that no matter what, these need to happen and these need to occur. And that's something that I think we should discuss and spend some time on. I know Mr. Press brought up the idea, for example, shuttle service availability, and considering that sort of thing, that parking lot availability might not be a thing, or it could be a thing, who knows? That kind of like mediates some of the situation if all this were to occur. So that's kind of like the first thing I just want to bring up.
I'll answer it.
Okay.
So just because of the sake of time that this vote is needed, it was listed like this on the agenda. But Serena and I, since we are part of the community development budget priorities committee, we're actually going through the district needs assessment. We're pulling out vital information pertaining to CB11 to attach to all of these conditions as to why it's needed, especially for that specific project. So we're making sure that everything that's listed is backed by stats that has been provided by the city, and along with other concerns that's been expressed by by our residents. So we're going to make sure. So once we're hoping that the letter will be done by tomorrow, and then we're going to send it out to the full board so you guys can see it before anything is sent out.
If I'm correct, we have to get the letter out by Friday, is that correct? That's why we have a time limit. We don't really have time.
Yeah, so yeah, it's tomorrow, so I will be pulling one of my first all-nighters since college. To make sure that it gets done in time. So
I will ask, because of the urgency in getting this out, that all community board members, please keep an eye on your emails and respond if you have any changes or anything you wish to have done to the letter early. And if you don't respond and we send out the letter, don't get mad if there's something in it that you didn't like, because we're asking you to look at your emails and be prepared to make any comments or suggestions on it as soon as you get it. Thank you.
Is there
I just,
came up with R6A.
I have just one comment. Don't want to go against Christine, but
Can you hear me?
can we make it all union jobs? Because construction is construction, but then when we have other labor engineers, all these, so changing it to all union jobs?
I'm sorry, can you repeat because you're moving the microphone?
Sorry. Christine said all union construction jobs. I said if we just change it to all union jobs, because there are different unions that work within building, schools and everything. So I was just saying all union jobs, if that's. Okay.
Do you have any objection to us just making it a general union jobs for all jobs that may come with the suggestion? Okay, so Rich is saying we should just leave it as union jobs in general, not just specify just to construction. So unless anybody else has an issue with that, we'll leave it as is. Did anyone else have any comments or Brian?
Can anyone hear me? No, I think. Hello?
One more second after Ryan, okay.
Hello?
You can go ahead, Oral, sorry. Go ahead, Oral. Oral, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we definitely can hear you.
No, I just had a question on the R6A limit. Is there a reason why you came up with R6A or why not R6B? I'm not sure.
I could explain that. R6A basically is 8 stories and possibly could go 2 more stories, which would make it up to 10.
Right.
If there's mandatory inclusion housing.
Right.
So just basically for the landscape and for some sort of compromise for the continuity of where the developments are going to be, which is East Tremont Avenue, Bronxdale Avenue, and of course the one that's already starting on Baker Avenue. So just trying to find a compromise on the height.
Right, but some areas be looked at a little closer and even make it even less of a zone, less of an R6. So you limit the heights even further, depending on the neighborhood that it's in. Because you can go to limit it to like 4 stories or 5 stories, where you get a kind of a townhouse brownstone type of setting versus the 6 to 9 story building and more like an apartment building.
Oh, I definitely understand that. To some extent, I do agree. But the general idea and the premise is that we want to ensure that, we're not giving up entirely all of our power during the ULURP process.
I understand that, but then you are though, kind of, because you can tell them to vet more areas to look at.
Thank you. What I'm saying is that we want them to come back individually for the different plans, and you go through the process and have conversations with us in the community as a whole per project, so we can negotiate and state what our needs specifically are. In order for us to go step by step in every single part of this district would have been a months-long process that we just don't have time right now during this time.
Not really, but you can look at it and you can look at the areas that have more residential feel and ask them to look in those areas to limit the heights of those buildings.
Do you want to do that right now in this committee, Oral? Because that is not possible to do without time.
No, I'm not saying for us to do it, but they can look at areas that can limit the heights of buildings in certain areas.
So during the letter, I'll be sure to express that.
Okay.
And I just want to say, Oral, when the different areas and different developments come to Community Board 11, we'll make sure that you're there, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bernadette? Bernadette?
Who's that?
Now,
Yes.
I'd just like to say, first of all, I want to apologize for not being there. I haven't unpacked yet. I just got home, nursing a tan. But as far as this item go, I think we should vote no on this until those items that were specified are agreed upon in writing so that they can be verified. Because once you let the horse out of the barn, it's awfully hard to get him back in again. That's my comment.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say everyone has come together with a pretty unified voice, but I don't feel very represented in that voice. I live here. I don't have a car. I'm raising a family, 2 kids. We go to extracurriculars in Westchester. We go to things in the city. We do stuff around the neighborhood. And it's about 45% of CV11 that doesn't have access to a car. So I hear a lot of people talking about parking, and I certainly recognize that there is a need for that in some cases. The fact that someone has to drive, it's 2.5 miles to Co-op City, takes about 45 minutes on the bus or 15 minutes to drive. That's ridiculous. We shouldn't have it. We already live in a dense city. CV11 as a whole is denser than any county in the United States outside of Manhattan. It's denser than the Bronx as a whole. It's denser than Queens, denser than Brooklyn. So we already live in a dense place. We should have the services that that kind of place deserves. So when we're talking about things like parking in this, I understand that there is a need and that a lot of people here do drive. But what we really need is a station and a transit system and bus service and whatever that looks like, whether it's a shuttle or buses, better bus service. We need one where we don't need parking. We need one where that space can be used to bring in the kind of nice retail that we're looking for, where other people who, the people who work at places like this, at hospitals, the med students, where they can come and live and grow their own family as well, and shop here and live here and make the same kind of life that I'm building right now and that so many of you have built so far. So I think we can do better, and I don't think that parking is the be-all end-all way to do it. I think that we could make a better plan without that.
I just wanted to clarify with regards to union jobs, if we leave it as is, they can give 3 union jobs out of thousands, and then they've met their, it should be a little clearer as in all union jobs preferably.
All union.
Yes, Christine mentioned that, and I was gonna mention that before we actually finished the vote. Thank you, though. Debbie?
Yeah, thanks. My daughter lives in the confines of CV11 and works at Co-op City. If she takes public transportation, it's 3 modes of transportation to get to Co-op City. If she is a fan of the e-scooters, but even going from where she lives to Co-op City, she has to go certain paths because those e-scooters cut off in certain areas by Gun Hill Road, I think she said, and by the I-95. So, it's not just easy to always just hop on an e-scooter. That's number 1. Number 2, we were just at the precinct council meeting on Tuesday. The 49 currently only has 74 police officers, and they keep losing more through attrition. So, normal is 120. So we definitely need more cops. So that has to be one of the forefronts. Parking is a high priority, and police is a high priority. So I just want to state that for the record.
Also, just to add on to it, to assume that, every individual is physically able to hop, public transit or a bike. Like, I understand that, we, to some capacity, do have the infrastructure for that, but it's also ableist to just assume that senior citizens are just going to take 3 buses and a train or hop on an e-scooter. Like, we need to be a little bit more realistic and to say like accessorize an option, like if you actually evaluate like the wait times and things like that, it is more of a hassle than anything else. So we just need to be mindful of that.
I'm not trying to say that there should be no parking. I have heard just about every single person ask for parking. And Deb, I agree, it's absurd that your daughter has to take 3 modes of transit to get from here to go up city. It's no more than 5 miles. It shouldn't take any time at all. If I get on my bike, it takes me 20 minutes. To the senior citizen, hop on 3 buses. My father-in-law is 85 years old, walks with a stoop, and he takes the BX12 to the Q44 to go to Flushing and have lunch.
Yeah, not
People
everybody-
can,
My mom's 60.
is all I'm saying. And we don't have.
Guys,
to
we're not
assume
gonna go
that.
back and forth, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you for everybody.
when my daughter used to run to Costco, she calls me to use the car.
Enough back and forth. Anybody have anything else?
I move to call the question, which means that. Thank you. So now we move
Okay.
to vote.
So just for a point, we're going to change what was it, number 14 to read all union jobs instead of just union jobs. Okay? I added that to it the first time. So if you want me to read through all 21 again. Okay, I added that one about the infrastructure, the building for 1201 Morris Park Avenue. I added that the first time I read it as number 21. Okay, so the only change from the first time I read the motion is number 14 is being changed to all union jobs. Okay, so we had discussion. All those, you doing a roll call? Okay.
We should. Chairman, all right. So ULIP applications are special. We need a roll call vote. All right. So based on the agenda. Yeah, so, no, we don't, right, so we're just voting, right? Okay. Yes, the motion has been made in leadership on Tuesday. All right, so that's how we're voting.
Can you read the top of the motion, please? Can you read the top of the motion?
Just the top, okay, just the top part. So motion that Committee Board 11 recommend approval of city planning's rezoning proposal for the area surrounding CD 11's Bronx Metro North stations. We have 2. You need me to state which ones. Provide the following conditions. So there have been some amendments to the conditions, but other than that, we're gonna recommend approval. That was what was. Yes. Yes, they provided. Yes, I just said that, right? Everybody got that? Provided these conditions. Okay. Vernon Farrar. Al D'Angelo. Al, you there?
Yes, I vote no. Not until those items are in writing.
Okay, in favor, against, abstaining. Veronica. Hazel. Malcolm. Yeah. Edgar. Katie. Ryan. Junior. John. John still there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Christine. I'm gonna skip over it if I think you're not here. Mary.
No.
I don't know if any of these people are here. If I don't call your name, we'll come back to you. Ken Galnick.
Yes.
Wendy. Debbie. David. Roger. Serena here yet or no? Phyllis. Naomi. Edward. Susan. And you don't need to say the recusal unless you're part of the discussion. And I don't believe he was part of the discussion, was he? Okay. Treadle. Juanita.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Cynthia. Ellie. Joanne. Oral. Recusal.
Yeah, I have to.
Lisa.
Yes.
Joe Thompson. Lee? Oh, he left. All right. Sandy. Janice. Dwayne. Jeanette.
Yes.
Okay, the motion clearly passes. Let me do the tally while we continue with other business. All right?
Just quickly to go back to the Juneteenth event motion that we had, Jeanette just made it known to me that she wanted to recuse herself because she is president, I believe, of the Brady Court. So if we could just add that into the record, that it passes with one recusal. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica.
You're welcome, Jeanette. The sixth, or technically fifth motion is the Community Board 11 ensures that the Borough President, CV11's council members, city planning, and the mayor's office see the board's Metro North request. I don't know what it's on.
I think that was the letter. That was the letter.
Okay. So this is something. So technically we don't need to do this because once we submit a recommendation, they'll get it. But I think it's a good idea to ensure that they look at it. That staff calls them, sends an email, whatever, and say, hey, we submit a recommendation, did you tell it at the Borough President's office, did you see it? You know, I'm sure they'll see it, but I think we should ensure that's what that's about. Right, Sandy?
Make them aware.
They made a motion at leadership about it, so. And, also just, because I don't know how much longer you're staying, we do have a distinguished guest in the audience, former Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. All right, so the motion was made in leadership on Tuesday. Want to call the vote, Veronica, since it was your committee meeting?
Okay, so it was no second needed. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, our next committee meeting is, committee report is economic development. Veronica?
Okay. Excuse me. So we have 4 liquor licenses and 1 cannabis license. So for the first one, we're going to be doing Shaking Crab, 2179 White Plains Road, and El Imperial Restaurant Corp., 2456 Williamsbridge Road. Motion to send a letter of no objection for the following, for those renewal liquor licenses. It was a motion in committee, so no need for a second. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, the next one is to send a letter of no objection for the renewal license of 690 Los Primos Restaurant Corp., 698 Allerton Avenue. I am recusing myself from this vote because they are we work with them closely with the Allerton International Merchant Association, so I've recused myself from the vote. So do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes with 1 recusal. The next is to send a letter of no objection for the renewal liquor license of Cafe Colonial Restaurant located at 27 White Plains Road. Do we have any discussion? Do we have any recusals? Any other recusals? Okay, all those in favor? Any objections? No objections, any abstentions? Joanne's abstaining. Okay, so motion passes with one recusal and one abstention. And then we have a cannabis license. So we voted to send a letter of no objection for Smoking Scholar LLC at 784 Allerton Avenue. Any discussion?
Quick question. Are they gonna change the name or not? No, I'm
No, they're not gonna change the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so all those in favor? Any objections?
Me, oral.
Okay, hold on, guys, hold on. So we have an objection by Naomi, an objection by Oral,
Yes.
objection by Debbie, objection by Phyllis, an objection by Joanne.
I
And
also object.
And I also object as well.
okay, wait, hold on, guys. All right, who just objected online? Jeanette and who else?
Me, Chun Chun.
Chun Chun.
Chung and oral.
And we have Bernadette and Wendy, Sandy, and I'm sorry, Natalia? Katie, and I'm so sorry, my glasses are not working today. There you go, hi. They're only for reading, I don't know why I have them on all the time. Anybody else? Naomi, did I call you? Objection yet? If not.
Victoria.
Objecting.
Victoria, Ken Yelnick.
Ken Yelnick, okay. Are you keeping track of all these? Let's do it.
Ken Yelnick would like to recuse on this one.
All right, well, we'll come back to you, Ken. Hold on. Let me-
Okay, do a roll call because there's too much going on, so give us a minute.
So it's a motion of no objection, and this would go to OCM, Office of Campus Management. All right, so yeah, all right, so who, Bernadette? Al? Angela?
Yes.
So I'm not sure he knows how he's voting. So this is, to say yes, you have no objection to this cannabis licensee, right? Al?
I have no objection, right.
All right, fine. Veronica? Hazel? Malcolm? Right. Edgar? Okay. Ryan? So you're yes, so in favor of the motion, right? Junior? I know it's confusing. Junior? Favor of the motion, okay. Chun Chun?
No.
No, right? Christine? Mary?
Yes.
Kevin? You're recusing yourself?
Yeah, abstain.
Okay, abstaining. All right. Wendy? Debbie? No. David? Okay, did you mark down the time he and Joe left? Roger? Phyllis? Naomi? Edward?
Yeah.
Susan? Shredo?
Yes.
Juanita?
No.
Richard?
Yes.
Cynthia? Ellie? Joanne? Oral? Douglas?
No.
Lisa?
Yes.
Yes. Sandy? Janice? Dwayne. Jeanette,
No.
as far as I can tell, the motion carries, but let me do the tally. We'll come. Oh, yeah, I don't think you were here for that, so I'll put you in line. Serena. All right. As far as I can tell, it passes, but we'll come back to it if necessary under old business, all right? Either way, I'll announce the results, the exact results, the ULURP vote, as well as the other one under old business, all right?
Okay, I think that's all I have for economic development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next committee report is Education, Culture, and Youth Services. Phyllis?
Good evening. The first thing I want to mention is yesterday, the PEP voted on PS 108 and they approved it to become a K-8 school. And kudos to Rogers White Tara. He fought a good fight. And also I want to mention on April 6th, there will be a veterans breakfast at the Morris Park Association from 10 to 12. All veterans are invited with one guest. Please RSVP. The flyer is on the community board page with the RSVP information. Thank you.
Okay, next committee report is Ethics and Disciplinary. Naomi?
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to say happy St. Patrick's Day, happy Women's Month, and this past Monday, Purim was celebrated. And if I missed any holidays, I apologize. But I just wanted to first discuss a motion to make for everyone to take the privacy training that Phyllis recommended. That email was sent out on Tuesday by Jeremy. So I would like to make a motion for that. Any discussion?
So just everybody clear on the motion? She made a motion, it was seconded by Tiz. We need that on the record for the minutes.
Any discussion, any issue, sir? Any objections? Any abstentions? Any yeses?
It's all yeses.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
What a difference a month makes.
Second, I just wanted to point out that we did a social media presentation last week, Monday. Please check it out. It gives you some tips on what you should or should not be posting online. Also, I want to put you to request the social media policy by the Borough President's Office also as to help you in a guide. But please check out that video on CV11's YouTube channel. And I just heard we received an ethics complaint, so just please pass that on to me as soon as possible. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can email too, just.
Yeah, I would rather email.
We can do both. Also, I did get a question.
Yeah, we should get an email.
No, she said she said it and she given it. We have, I'll follow up if necessary. But I did get a question earlier, Naomi. You did have COIB come to your meeting already.
That's correct.
Okay, do you remember which meeting? So I could refer.
That was November 17th.
November meeting, November, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next committee report is Community Development and Budget Priorities. Serena?
Oh, you need the mic.
Have some really demanding community board members here. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and apologies for being late. I'm so happy to find out that our Juneteenth, a second annual Juneteenth event was passed, the motion. So I'm really excited about that, and stay tuned for more information with regards to that. I just want to also just kind of apologize for having to cancel yesterday's community development meeting. It was very last minute, but it was something that had to happen because we weren't gonna need quorum. And I just didn't think that that was gonna be something that was gonna be beneficial overall. But I do wanna remind each and every committee to go back to the website. Jeremy, please remind me where you put our district needs report and our budgetary priorities on the website so that we can direct each committee to review.
So when you go to the website, community level website, you click on about, and it's district profile.
So when you go on the website and you click on about, you'll see the district profile for fiscal year 25. Each and every committee during leadership, I announced this, and I'm just announcing it right now during full board for good measure, should review our district needs and our budgetary priorities. I did ask every committee to kind of go back to October of last year and survey what they know has been asked from our community, so that when we have to submit our budgetary priorities and community district needs report in October of this year, we have a gauge and an understanding of what our community is asking for. So we have about 10 committees, last time I checked. We have 40 capital asks that we can ask and 25 expense asks. The expense asks are for programming, capital would be for infrastructure. Just kind of recapping that just for anyone that isn't privy to this information, so that when we do submit our asks, we are in line with what our community is asking for. And that is all I have to say. Thank you very much. And I'm always available, CB11, Serena Muniz @gmail.com.
Okay, our next committee report is Health and Social Services. Sandy?
Thank you. What do I do, just talking to this? Oh, yeah. We had an excellent presentation made by the group Pandemic. Cynthia is still working on the minutes, but if you need any help with social services, etc., this is the go-to group. So we'll have all the information done. And our next meeting, we will have 2 great speakers. So please come to the meeting or watch it. Thank you.
And when is the health fair?
Oh, that one. We're working on the health fair, yes. And I've gotten a lot of people who have already asked for tables. And it's at Bronx House. And one thing I wanted is, I was hoping that the Friends of could give a small stipend so that the person who sets up and cleans up after, we can give him a little token of our appreciation.
And it's still on June 23rd.
Yeah, and I think we should also confirm with Howie, because I do believe that that person gets paid overtime. But yeah, if we want to do something additional, but we should probably find that out too.
Janitorial, for the janitors. Custodian. Did you want to make Sandy, did you want to make a specific motion for this? Sandy, did you want to make a specific motion, to?
Yeah, just please make a motion that we. I make a motion that we somehow, from the Friends of, give a small stipend to the man who helps us. His name is Leon.
Second that.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
We just need a number, no?
Okay.
I mean, not that it's gonna work, but I don't know.
How much have we given in the past, Sandy?
530, what do you think, 300? Now I just got something small, just a small token of our appreciation.
Okay, so, 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll make it 50.
50 sounds great to me.
Okay, so there's, that was the discussion. Is there any other discussion? So, there was a second. And is there any objection? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
Just for the record, that was seconded by Ed Perez. Harriet, I know you're remotely, so if you need us to clarify anything, please do it before the meeting ends.
Okay, the next up.
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, just to backtrack for 1 second, if anyone from the Health and Social Services Committee for next month is available to help with the tech, I will not be available, so start looking at your calendars and let Sandy know, please.
Yes, and Debbie can't either.
What day is it?
The 9th.
Okay, we'll work on that. Okay, just Sandy, just make sure that it's on the top of your calendar to nudge. Okay. Our next committee report is housing. Who is,
We have a meeting. Yeah.
okay, so there was no meeting for housing. Is there anything that you would like to say for? No? Okay.
Well, for the City of Yes, I think City of Yes, you're gonna have some stuff, right?
We have
All right.
couple of dates.
Okay. Housing first for the City of Yes for this month. I think they have some. No, you guys are coming out, so you guys can talk about. But we'll defer it to them for this month.
Okay. All right, next committee report is land use.
Hi, good evening. It's sort of obvious, we had the public hearing on the Metro North, was last Monday, and that's the report. Everybody knows what came out of it. We had the recommendations to approve it, but basically to tell them, you can't do it like you want to do it. You have to give us all of these things, or it's not acceptable. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ken. Our next committee report is Parks and Recreation. Janice?
Hello. I met last month with a gentleman from the Parks Committee. We were told that the first phases of reconstruction for Zimmerman Playground is underway. My main concern is the fact that they want to do the reconstruction without a bathroom. Without a bathroom in Zimmerman for almost 8 years, which means you can't have any program. Okay, whether it be, excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. We can't have any programs in the park or on on Barker Avenue. We used to have KF every year for the children. We don't have that. And because we don't have a bathroom, it's a health issue. Mothers are taking their children between two cars, because when a child has to go to the bathroom, they start doing the dance, okay? You know what dance that is, it's time to go. Okay, so, we have porta potties, which are filthy. We had a small committee that went to the playground. They didn't even want to stand in front of it. Debbie and I had a committee, they didn't even want to stand in front of the porta potty, so you know that was bad. Okay, but we have to have the park house renovated with bathroom, male, female bathroom. It's so important. And once we get that, we can probably have various programs in the playground and on the street. So the gentleman was saying, well, he'll check out the porta potties. I said, no, you're not checking anything out. That's out.
get rid of the current porta potties you have in there and start working on the, bathrooms, the parkhouse bathrooms. So he said, well, he's gonna see what's going on, okay, but that was the gist of it. Debbie, anything else that you remember?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I'm a little confused. Out of all the political officials online and here, the reps, I've been on this community board since what, August, September? And I'm hearing the same thing. So I'm a little confused on why is that still an issue and that has not been addressed? Not with the blanket statement of, we'll get to it, or we'll add it to our task, but actually address. I'm a little confused. I just need somebody to help me out. Help me out.
I can slightly help you.
Please.
It was mentioned that Riley, because that area is Riley's district. He is saying he's stepping up to help out with the bathroom and such. But until it's pen to paper and he signs a check, show me the money. Show me the money. But he did say.
Well, I'm gonna
he did
ask.
say that because it's his district.
And I heard that in September, October, and I'm clear with that, right? So we wait until October and September of this year? So what do we need to do to get it done?
Well, wait, you can't speak, I'm sorry.
Go, Michael.
I thought that the funding was secured. So are they saying now that they do not have the funding secured?
Hold on. Hold
Okay, I'm told that Riley, Bailey, and Zakara, the state, the city, and the assembly are funding the renovation of this park house. I'm hoping that happens, okay, because like Debbie said, until pen to paper is done, the children will still be doing their dance, okay? So we have to get clarification on that. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I think what Diana was trying to say, that it was until the budget gets approved, you're not gonna get the money. I think the budget has to get approved. Is
Yeah,
that
but-
correct, Diana? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
This is all for the allocation for fiscal year 2025. Parks and Rec will start right away. The restrooms, but what Janice is concerned about is that that's a years-long process. So while it's being constructed, we have these unacceptable porta potties, and she's asked the Parks Department to step up the game.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate it. But that's, if for the question of why they haven't received the funding yet, that's why.
We also don't want them to start doing the park. And then in a year or two later, then they're gonna start doing the bathroom and then tear up what they just did in the park.
Ken.
Thank you, Diana.
Sorry.
Okay. The porta potty company that we're using now, I told them to get rid of them. Get rid of them because they're not coming. They're being paid, but they're not doing their job. So I told the gentleman from the Parks Department, stop paying them. Get a reliable porta potty in there while they're doing the renovation. Okay, and then get the park house done. Go ahead.
Ms. Janice, when you hold a meeting in July of this summer with the parks, and we were present, a lot of us were present. Correct me if I'm wrong, I recollect them saying that they weren't, parks were no longer building like the bathrooms as we know it, right? They kind of forewarned us of it, right? We were like, we hear you, we still say no, right? Mainly you were like, I hear you, I'm not with it, right? So back to what Wendy kind of alluded to or kind of was just saying. I think we have to put action behind this, a petition, not that you're not doing that, but as a board. You know, what are we as a board in general, and this goes back to the letter that we're writing for the Metro North, right? What are we doing as a board to really convey that we're not gonna, this is not what we want, we're not standing for this. So is it petitions that we need to drum up? Is it rallies that we need to do? What is it that you suggest that we need to do so that we can reach out to the proper electeds and alert the community that this is not gonna stand?
We can do the petitions. I can, petitions for the people that are served by Zimmerman Playground. And elected officials do what we have to do.
Just want to quickly say, I think, but we already got approved for funding. Is that correct? We already got approved for funding. And so the action that we need to take now is to get the response from our legislators who signed off on that. That's what we need to do.
Thank you. Now, let's understand this is a hot topic. So let's work on this behind the scenes, all right? And let's just move on. Thank you.
Okay, our next committee report is public safety.
Okay, so we had the fire department come and give non-certification CPR training to the 3 members that were present. That's an issue that we're dealing with, is that we never have quorum. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's been too frequent, especially in my 2 committees. I didn't have a quorum last meeting. It's a issue, and we need to, you're only supposed to be online if you have a reason for it. Extenuating circumstances. Other than that, all committee members should be in the office for meetings.
If I could just elaborate on that, I think we have an issue with some people abusing, in my opinion, the online option. If you should be able to attend some meetings, it shouldn't be an always online option. I know that there are extenuating circumstances for certain people, but you have to be able to at least come in and join committee meetings or the full board meeting, because it's not fair to everyone else who makes the time to actually come in person to as many meetings as possible. That's just my opinion, but I really think that people need to make a better effort of coming to live meetings.
I'm sorry, I have a question. What happened to the police officer that comes and gives a report?
Officer Maderos?
Yes.
Yes, I haven't invited him because we haven't had quorum, so it's not an official meeting.
Are you talking about the full board, Naomi?
Yeah, he would
No,
come.
I don't invite him to the full board.
Oh, okay, I see.
No, that's-
Okay, so is that possible? Because
The
I think,
precinct had said that, unless it's certain things that need to be brought up, they were not gonna be able to regularly attend the full board meeting.
oh, okay, so is it possible we can have him next month? Because I don't know what's going on.
Well, so remember, the idea of the committees is to handle that stuff there. So ideally,
You're welcome
Because
to come to the precinct council meetings.
there's that,
I
but
don't
also.
have those. I'm sorry.
Every last Tuesday,
Every Tuesday?
the last Tuesday of the month.
All right, guys. First of all, Jeremy was speaking.
Yeah.
Right? Let's give respect. Okay. Now, what Jeremy was saying, this is a committee issue. If you're having issues getting quorum, I love that you mentioned it here. Now you go back to your committee and you get it done, all right? So we can't overload this meeting with that stuff. So let's move on to the next topic, unless you have something else you want to present for your debate. Thank you.
Okay, our next committee report is sanitation and environmental protection. You didn't have a meeting? Okay, there was no meeting. We'll go on to transportation, so our next committee report.
Yeah, sorry, I forget what committees I'm on. We had a meeting and, we decided, we had, the Metro North there, they did their presentation and then we decided to have a joint meeting with land use for the public hearing, which happened this past Monday. And it was attended very well. And, I'm so happy that, the residents from that community were here today also to let us know what their concerns were. Thank you. Debbie, you want to add something? Mary?
I actually did, following, and not sure if this is the right portion for it or new business is the right portion for it. After the public hearing, I was approached by a member of the public who's, I think it was a very well-intended comment who approached me saying, like I voiced my thoughts and opinions and concerns. And the member of the public approached me, telling me, I think you mean well, and, I still think you're wrong and you should reconsider, your positions. Just want to make it abundantly clear because this was the same response I had for that member of the public, which is these are the avenues for you to bring those concerns. Everybody has the right to have, different thoughts and opinions, and that's what makes these things very fruitful and, these public forums to be very fruitful. We don't always have to agree with one another. Just know that everybody has the best interest for this community going forward, and I just wanted that also just to be noted.
Okay.
March's meeting was with the DOT commissioner.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm so sorry. That was also a very good meeting.
With public safety.
Yes, public safety. I'm so sorry. My brain is like gel sometimes. It was a very good meeting and I encourage everybody to go on YouTube and take a look at what they were presenting to us. Thank you.
I just have a question with the DOT. Did we get responses, Jeremy, from the DOT commissioner with some of the things that he had to follow up on?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just right here, right? Some things. Some things, but not a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be followed up. I mean, I don't want to waste too much time here. Let's talk. I mean, if there's something that you need to follow up on, Debbie's very good about emailing me, or reaching out to staff. So I can't think off the top of my head. I'm trying to multitask. Sorry.
Okay, and if anybody wants to know exactly what the things that were discussed, please view the video. Okay, our next committee report is the City of Yes. Wendy?
Hi, good evening. So we normally have bi-weekly discussions. We did not meet last Friday. Everyone's schedule, work schedule and things of that nature. Bob and I did actually stay online for a little bit just to kind of discuss the next phase, which is the housing phase. But with all the meetings happening regarding the Metro North and the City of Yes, like yesterday, there was a Zoom session for the City of Yes to speak about middle housing piece. We just encourage everyone to participate on these Zoom sessions. I mean, a Zoom, right? You don't have to go in person, but it's a lot of information. And if you keep hearing the information over and over again, it'll make sense and you'll have questions to bring back because it's very, very important. So I think with the City of Yes, what we're gonna do is take all of the 21 items or the 20 items that are listed and really start to have a discussion around those items, especially with the affordable housing piece, because there's different branches for that, right? Especially if you're gonna do social services, inclusionary housing, senior housing, things of that nature, kids aging, veteran kids aging out of foster care. You need to package that correctly. It needs to make sense. So I just encourage everyone to take advantage of the Zoom, attend those meetings, get the information so that you can better understand what's being proposed, so that we can have a better conversation.
You want to add something in
So-
regards to the city of Okay, on Wednesday, we did have that information session online, but there is another information session. The Bronx delegation of the city council invited city planning to do a Bronx-wide presentation on Tuesday, April the 2nd. That's at 6:30 p.m. The Bronx delegation consists of all the city council members who represent the Bronx. It is a webinar, so you should contact your council member to let them know you will be interested in listening in. If there is a venue for the public to go ahead and voice their concerns to somebody that is not an advisory committee, I think that's the venue right there. Online, where these council members that we elected into office that have power and really listen.
Yeah.
The other meeting is on Wednesday, April 17th. That's at 6:30. And that's just another general presentation on the entire proposal. It's probably a repetition of everything else that we've seen. And there's not any new information published on the BCC website. And in closing with that, just touching base with the Metro North, we need to leverage the Metro North and this list of asks that we have with the city of Yes and the overlapping concerns of the community and the priorities that we should be focusing on for both the Metro North and the city of Yes. So I think that, Wendy, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe that's something that we could also bring up at our next meeting just to see what concerns out of these 20 or 21 points we can leverage with the city of Yes.
Right, I think you're right, Ed, because just to take it back, on Monday, I heard a lot of folks talking about home ownership, right? And we have to understand what the market of home ownership is, right? Mortgages, mortgage rates, all relationships with banks. I said to Malcolm the other day, we should have a relationship with neighborhood housing services. Along with that, we need to have relationships with at least 2 commercial banks, 3 savings banks, and a credit union. So that, you're packaging that to whoever wants to buy into the community to say, listen, work with these banks, we can help you with your credit and whatever have you, so that you are a better person, right? Better person on paper to buy, if that makes sense, right? Because it's all about the packaging. But we also have to communicate that out to people. So yes, and we should definitely incorporate that into the city of Yes.
I just want to add to that, because one of the questions I did type in at the info session last night was, why is the city of Yes and the specifics that are going into that, and the Metro North, why is it 2 separate? Why are they not working together? So the answer was that the Metro North, well, this is what they said, this is how I took it, I'm sure it's more detailed, is that the Metro North is a neighborhood study, as opposed to the city of Yes basically being a borough. So that was a difference, but I think that question still needs to be explored.
I just wanted to say, the meeting was yesterday, I got an email about 5 o'clock. And then in that meeting, they did say that they had the April 17th, so thank you, Ed, you had better information than I did. So is there a way we can get a calendar? I just feel so out of the loop. Is there any way we can get a calendar of what's going on in terms of community, city of Yes, so that we can, participate, we can, because by the time I saw my email, I was like, probably at the end of the meeting.
So if you go to City Planning's website, they have a list of all of the different webinars and information sessions that they have coming up. So I think Jeremy or the staff can share that out. Okay. Yeah.
I wanna say one more thing, like, we have to be mindful, of, like Bernadette, what you were saying, the city of Yes, not the city of Yes and the Metro North. The Metro North has been something that has been in plans for what, over 20-something years, right? Because they laid down the tracks for Amtrak about, what, 10 years ago. So it's kind of always been floating in the air. The city of Yes, we know anytime there's a new mayor, they want to put their stamp on something. De Blasio did it, Adams is gonna do it, right? So we just have to be mindful that, yes, this part of the Bronx is backdated. We're so far behind when it comes to development. So it feels now that we're being thrown with everything under the sun to fast-paced development because we have to catch up with the other boroughs. So it is overwhelming, but that's why it's very important that we participate in all of these meetings that are happening Zoom, just to get more grounded on the information that's being thrown at us, so that we understand. That's all I beg of you, that we understand.
Thank you, Wendy. With that, DI.
Okay, so, thank you, everybody, for staying around this long. And I just want to say first, happy Women's History Month, also happy Irish Heritage Month. And I want to thank the three speakers, the guest speakers that we had this month. Talk about not just themselves, but also the things that they're doing, the wonderful things that they're doing in the Bronx. Our first speaker is the executive director of the Morris Park Bid, and you all know her, the wonderful Camila Tepelos. Did I get that right? Tepelos. And then we had another inspirational woman of the Bronx, and her name is LaTanya Devon. And she is the founder and owner of Bronx Bound Books. And we have collaborated with her in the past, and because of her wonderful work that she does, we're going to continue to collaborate with her in the future. We also had another speaker that joined us, but then she had to run out because she had a client waiting for her. And she's actually a new neighbor to Community Board 11, and her name is Saki Blanco. She's the co-founder and owner of Sacred Family Studios, which is right next door to the Community Board 11 office. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here tonight, and thank you to those guests. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn this over. Am I turning this over to you? Okay, Ellie, for investigative.
There's a switch on the top.
Can you hear me? Good. Good evening, everyone. The investigative committee was formed with the task of addressing two resolutions. Each resolution is designed to investigate two officers that serve on this board, whether they should continue in their leadership position. The committee met for the first time on March 11th, and we addressed one of the resolutions. We're still gathering information on that resolution, and we hope to have a recommendation for this board after we have our second meeting, which is scheduled for April 8th, to address the second resolution. That's where we are with the investigative committee, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion? Better late than never.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's discussion, not questions. Actually more, in light of recent developments, and especially that hearing, which was so enlightening, including the attempt to shift crucial discussions into executive session, an action that seemed designed to obscure biased testimony from Mr. Joe Thompson. Combined with the protracted delay by our board's leadership in resolving these significant issues, it's become evident that decisive action is necessary. The fact that more than half our board members have already expressed their readiness to move forward underscores the urgency of the situation. Therefore, I implore that we expedite the process for a critical vote on the removal of the chairperson. This decision, I know nobody took it lightly when we did the vote, but it stems from a fundamental need to uphold the principles of integrity, transparency, and responsive governance that guide our work and is expected by the community that we serve. Thank you.
Okay, we are moving on to our elected officials.
So to piggyback off of what Ed said, I'm extremely disappointed at the way this entire process has dragged out. It's actually been something of a mockery. I know that having attended the investigative committee, there were at least 2 points in time where admissions were made. And personally, I don't need to hear anything more. I have what I need, but I'm not, I'm not on the committee. I am not the chair of the committee, and that is not my choice, my decision to make. But I do have to express that I'm extremely, extremely disappointed in how the entire process has carried out.
I have to agree, because again, and I said it that night, if there's one thing we know how to do, we know how to run out of clock. But what is the timeline going forward? Ali, I know you said that the next meeting is what, April 8th, 9th, 8th? So then after that, what is the timeline? What is the time frame? Oh, sorry.
Let me say that when the committee comes up with the recommendations to the board, however long that takes, I think that we need to pay respect to the process. We have to address the issues and come to a conclusion utilizing our deepest of care. Whenever the committee decides that they're ready to present the resolution, I would then guide those recommendations to the board. I am not trying to delay the process. I would tell you that no one on the committee has given me the impression that they're trying to delay the process. But this is the first time that this has happened, where the board is calling for the removal of a few of their officers. So we want to be careful with this. Time will look back at how we handle the situation. And I don't want time factor to be an issue that they will argue later on that we didn't respect. So when the committee is ready, I will put that recommendation to the board. I am not the one delaying it. The board is not delaying it. But once they are comfortable that they've collected enough information where they can make a decision, and keep in mind that the outcome of this committee, our recommendation will affect the lives of those individuals among their peers in their community. And it's something we cannot take lightly. We must listen to all the facts and be impartial, and then deliver to the full board our recommendation.
And also, just so you guys know, the committee's first meeting, I appointed the committee, so I attend the meetings just, to overlook it, but I'm not part of the committee. But one of the things that we have learned from our first meeting is the way that we have to go forward with the process, because it did take a long time. The committee is the ones that are doing the investigation and listening, so the committee is going to be the ones to be asking the questions going forward. Anyone not on the committee is going to be part of the gallery and will have 2 minutes to speak. Okay, so that will help to alleviate some of the time of that. It took 4 hours, we believe was too long for it to go on. So just for, so you know, going forward at the next meeting, that's how the process is gonna be. Thank you.
I have a comment, Ellie. I do understand and respect, right, that this is a very sensitive situation and that time should be, you know, taken and there's no time frame for it, right? But then as I watched, I played back the video a couple of times. What struck me the most was a comment that was made about how this board overall for over maybe 15 years, decades, was under a particular, I was gonna say rule, but I guess the word was dictatorship, right? And we, and I say we, right, because I wasn't a board member then, but you know, I am now. And we as a whole allowed this to happen. And we, meaning some of the individuals that are leading us now. My concern is that these individuals were leading us then, and they allowed this dictatorship to happen then. I don't have the trust in them now to lead us in the way that we need to go into the future. I'm with a lot of our board members when I say I don't need to hear any more. If you ask me today if I am ready to vote, I will tell you yes. And that's all I have to say.
So just for the record, this process is new. We have not been given any guidance other than we have to put together a committee and that they have to investigate the resolutions that were provided and the responses from those involved. Now, you can go ahead and say you want to make a decision right now, but that would be against the process that we know of right now, meaning that we haven't provided the responses to everyone yet. That is going to be provided to the whole board, so everybody has a chance to look at it, because the whole board needs to be informed before they can make a decision once the referral is brought to the full board. So it's gonna take as long as Ellie has stated, and please do not speak out from the gallery.
Sorry, I need no responses or feedback from the gallery. If you can't respect that, please just leave the meeting.
So again, this is a new process for all of us. Okay, we are doing our best to get it done fairly, and to get it done so that when it's looked down on later, there's nothing from any side that can say that something was done wrong. We're trying to get this done as fairly as we can and as quickly as we can. We can't rush to these decisions. People have already made up their minds, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, we were given responses, and each person needs to be able to say what they have to say in response to the allegations set before them. If we had tried to do Al on the same day as we did Bernadette, it would have been a 6 to 8 hour meeting. So there was no way possible for us to do that. So please understand, we're doing the best that we can. The committee is doing the best that they can to get this done fairly and as quickly as possible. Thank you.
As far as the process, Veronica, thank you. I think that how the following meeting, the subsequent meetings are carried out has to be a little bit different. I was concerned when I sat in at the first meeting, because it seemed like there was, you know, there was, number one, clear bias, as we heard towards the end of the meeting with one of the committee members. But also, you know, there was a resolution, and the person, you know, being eyed for removal had 30 days to respond in writing to said resolution. And then it became a sort of interview going over and, you know, kind of I don't know, it's sort of testifying and whatever, but it was sort of one-sided. Luckily, Ellie, you did allow, you know, people in the gallery to counter many of the points, and I thank you for that. But it is, you know, if subsequent meetings are carried out differently, where the person being charged is allowed to speak, and then the gallery or those who contributed to the resolutions don't have the opportunity to rebut, that is a huge concern. But once again, to speak on the bias of one committee member, you know, I think it's something that needs to be also reevaluated.
If there's one thing that I think the committee was gonna ask clarification on was for those resolutions, there were no names to the parties involved in those resolutions. They came from one person. If you could provide a list of the people who are involved and are making those claims, then we know who we can call on when we have the investigations. Otherwise, we can't. As far as we're concerned, if we only have one person who sent it and no names listed on the resolutions, we're just gonna assume that it's the one person and anything else is gonna be gallery. So if you can provide a list of those names, that would be very helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Joe Thompson did make a statement. The members of the committee did have a discussion with him. Ellie, do you wanna address that, because Joe left? I know Joe's gonna make a statement at the next meeting. Okay?
The members of the committee, we did discuss the issue with Joe Thompson, and Joe expressed that he can be impartial. He was expressing his knowledge of Bernadette's scope of work throughout her career, what she's done for her community, but that it would not impact him reviewing the resolution, the responses from Bernadette, some of the questions that were asked, relevancy, and so on, that it would not impact his decision. He would be fair. He won't be leaning to one side, and he committed to the committee that he would express that to the board, that he intends to be fair and impartial based on the information that's collected. The committee, after hearing that, decided that Joe Thompson can stay on the committee.
All right, thank you, Ellie. I think we could just move on to our elected officials.
Okay, I know we have a representative from the Bronx Borough President's Office. Any Gosto?
Chair, may need an extra minute to got a lot of stuff to look over.
No problem.
Okay, oh, whenever you're ready. Go, thank you. The Bronx Borough President has been working with New York City SPS to secure $10 million for small businesses. The Bronx was one of the lowest PPP applications rates. The borough president has been working with the incubator at Lehman College and working with Sobro. The Bronx Borough President celebrated Women's History Month on the 30th. The Bronx Borough President also celebrated Irish Heritage Month. We honored CB11 resident, longtime public servant and activist Robert F. Nolan with an award, and his wife accepted the award and will be making an award in his name for future Irish Heritage Month. Yesterday, the Bronx Borough President and my sister's keeper held a conference for over 1,000 students at College of St. Vincent's. It was very successful. Today, the University of St. Vincent's. Not Mount St. No, anyway, Mount St. Vincent's. Thank you, I'm sorry. My brother's keeper and Office of Borough President has to stop the violence at the Eagle Avenue Academy for young students on today. On April the 1st, the Borough President will be having the first ever Transgender Day of Visibility flag raising. It's going to be at Borough Hall at 11 a.m. The Bronx Borough President will be hosting Greek Heritage Month at St. Peter's the Apostle Greek Orthodox Church at 3245 Kingsbridge Avenue on Friday, April 5th. The Bronx Borough President will be having My Brother's Keeper present Health and Wellness Fair at Fordham High School of the Arts, 500 East Fordham Road, Wednesday, April the 3rd from 4 to 7. Explore health and wellness. The Bronx Borough President has the State of the Borough address Thursday, April the 18th at 5:30 at Cardinal Hayes High School. Almost done. The Bronx Borough President is hosting planning for future information sessions to learn about deeds, trusts, wills, power of attorney, health proxies, beneficiaries, pre-end of life planning, life insurance, social security, organizations providing resources and caregivers. That's Thursday, April the 25th at Borough Hall. We're also in collaboration with our district attorney's office, prom dresses and suit drive. We're collecting gently used or new outfits, accepting donations until May the 9th. Drop off at the Bronx Borough President's office. And finally, the Bronx Borough President will be holding Bronx Week, where Friday will be the deadline for submitting People's Choice Award for the health worker. Last year was education, this year it's Happy Women's Month, Happy St. Patrick's Day, Easy Ramadan, Happy Holy, Happy Easter Resurrection Sunday, Easy Zisam Pesach, and go Yankees win.
Job.
That was a mouthful. Okay, I am gonna go down the list, but I know we have just a few people that are left here. Do we have a rep from Councilmember Mamarato's office? Oh, okay, or no,
So she texted me, I think she was online, but then had to leave. I didn't know she was online, so I texted her, in the future, let me know so we can try to front load you, which is how we do it with electeds.
okay, from Councilmember Felice's office? Councilmember Riley's office? Mayor's office?
Hi, the mayor's office is here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Melina Dow. I am the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I just wanted to start off with letting everyone know that the mayor unfortunately had to attend the wake of the officer that was murdered. And I wanted to remind everyone that the mayor, in the beginning of his campaign, he was asking for support surrounding bail reform. And again, this is the same call. Please go to your other elected officials and ask them what could be done to get the support that's needed to eliminate or at least alleviate some of the recidivism. Also, I wanted to share that the NST, the Neighborhood Support Team application process is open. Please, I'm asking that you submit as many concerns as possible, because what's going to happen is the director of quality of life is then going to go into the system and they're going to be able to choose a couple of different areas that have major concerns and then get a whole bunch of agencies together to address those concerns. I always say the Pillar Awards are open. Recommend and nominate the amazing pillars in the community so they can continue to be pillars, because they know they're appreciated, especially by the mayor. And the last thing that I want to just leave you guys with is, if anyone needs me, please feel free to contact me at any time. My number is area code 914-446-8393. And my email is ADOWE, that's D as in David, OW, E as in Edward, at cityhall.nyc.gov. I have been contacted by a couple of different people in the community and have been able to provide support to different constituents, personal matters, obviously. And then I've also have been able to do a couple of checks on some of the complaints. So I'm working with some of the city agencies to make sure we get them addressed. And that's from you have some trucks that are pulling electricity from public houses. And if you continue to see anything like that, please just continue to file your 311 complaints and then send me an email if it hasn't been addressed in 3 days. Happy Women's Month and thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Hi, Adina, I
Thank
just
you.
want to say that, today we had an issue that we want to email to you and see if you can provide some guidance on how we can effectively push it forward.
Yes, please.
Is that possible? Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a representative from the Comptroller's Office, Public Advocate's Office? And I know we have from the Bronx District Attorney's Office.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brian with the Bronx DA's office. I have 4 quick things. One, we're also doing prom dress and suit drive. If you have any kind of formal wear, you can also bring it to the Bronx District Attorney's office at 198 East 161st Street. Any formal wear we don't use, we also have use it for like a re-entry event where we help formerly incarcerated people get back on their feet. 2, we have our 7th annual Child Safety Fair. This is going to be on April 27th at 1212 Prospect Avenue. That's a Saturday. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to have a lot of vendors that offer several services for kids all the way from babies to teenagers and to parents as well. We're going to have a rock ball. We're going to have bouncy castles, carnival games, and all that good stuff. Last 2 more things. Do you guys have any questions, very specific questions about a criminal law issue? I know sometimes Google can be quite complex and you just need a straightforward answer. A lot of people have been reaching out that have been able to get them the right ADA. They can answer their question pretty quick. Remember, we're still a service for you guys, so if you have a question, you can take my card down. And then lastly, we have an arrest disposition presentation that we've been doing in a lot of schools, and we realize that a lot of people just don't understand what happens in the criminal justice system in general. You usually get a lot of information from television. So if you know a school that needs that presentation, if you know any kind of nonprofit that needs a presentation, reach out. We're here to educate the public so that way everybody has a better understanding of the criminal justice system and what you can, can't do for you. That's it.
Okay, great. Yes. Our next rep is. Okay. Representative from Ocasio-Cortez's office.
Good evening, everyone. First, I wanted to say thank you. It was a year, I think this meeting last year, that was my first CB11 meeting, so it's been an honor. Thank you guys so much. For the announcements, on Saturday, March 9th, 2024, the president signed 6 government spending bills, which include funding for 14 projects in New York. 14 amounts to $12 million for the district. Among such projects are 1.5 towards the Northeast Bronx Youth Center, $1 million to Westchester Square Plaza Safety Project renovation, and $500,000 to fund an elevator replacement at Middletown Plaza. If you want to, see the other upgrades, and if you have any other questions, you can visit the website or call our office, which I'll give the number later. Earlier this month, legislatively, along with Senator Durbin and Representative Nancy Mace, we formally introduced the Defiance Act. This bipartisan bill would create a stronger civil right of action for victims of non-consensual deepfake pornography. This is the beginning of the Congressman's work regulating AI as a newly appointed bipartisan AI Congressional Task Force member. This is one of those issues that seems to be a slam dunk for both parties to sort of make it stronger in those protections. Our office invites your high school students to participate in the 2024 Congressional Art Competition. This winner's artwork is recognized right now in a special reception in the Congressional Institute and displayed on the U.S. Capitol for 1 year. The deadline is April 26th at 5 p.m. You can contact our office for more information. Next week, Thursday, April 4th, our office and a representative from the IRS is going to be giving a demo for the new direct file feature for the IRS. If you have any questions about anything, if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to anyone at the office, you can give us a call at 718-662-5970. Again, that's 662-5970. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Our next representative is online from State Senator Fernandez's office. From State Senator Fernandez's office.
You want to take the mic with you? So Tiffany might be away, but she is online, so she comes back. I did, she's called Rivera's office. Hold on, let me find the name. So Jasmine?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Still lined up? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Sorry, I had to leave early, but good evening. I'm Jasmine Torreblanca, Community Affairs Representative for Office of State Senator Gustavo Rivera. Really brief, our office will be hosting the IDNYC event April 15th, 16th, and 17th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event is by appointment only. I left flyers up front, and the van will be located outside of our district office at 2432 Grand Concourse. I also left flyers with QR codes if you want to sign up for our newsletter. If you have any questions or concerns, please call 718-933-2034.
Take the other one now because that's the audio one, right?
All right, guys, thank you.
All right, thank you. So a representative from Assembly Member Zaccaro's office.
Hi, this is Evan from Assemblymember John Zaccaro's office. Just to make it quick, because I know we're running out of time here. The Assemblymember is up in Albany. He's working on the budget. They just left the session today and are off for the holidays that are coming up, but he'll be back up there obviously next week. One of the things he is fighting hard, very hard for, is the funding for Zimmerman Playground. I know that the bathrooms in that playground house have been an issue for quite some time, and he, along with the senator, have been working closely and trying to get that funding. Hopefully by the next meeting, I will have an update and can say that pen has been put to paper, with the budget being signed and that being a part of it. Other things that are happening this upcoming Friday, that's April 5th, there'll be an iftar food giveaway in Little Yemen. We'll have flyers and information going out shortly about that. That will be at 2 p.m. There'll be another food giveaway at the end of the month. Location is still TBD, so we'll update everybody as those plans get solidified. There'll be a park cleanup park cleanup on April 22nd. That'll be Earth Day or in thereabouts. We're going to be doing a number of parks, so we'll be putting that out later. Just keep that on your mind. I've also mentioned in the past that April 6th was going to be a shredding event. Unfortunately, due to budget cuts, they can no longer do it on weekends and now have to be done during weekdays between the hours of 9 to 12, which we know is a bit of an inconvenience. So the Assembly member is working with DSNY to try and come to a common ground that can that will not stretch their budget, but also be. I look forward to seeing everybody next meeting.
I think that's it for our representatives. If there's anybody else I missed, please speak up now.
Hi, can I speak really quick?
Tiffany.
Yes, sorry about that.
My apologies.
No, it's okay. So really quick. So in terms of our events, we're busing Korean War veterans to the Capitol on April 4th at 10 a.m. If you're interested, if you're a Korean War veteran that is interested, please RSVP at our office. I'll give the number at the end. And in terms of our legislation, the senator is currently in Albany. And we are proposing several things in the budget. One of the things is allowing municipal law enforcement to padlock illegal smoke shops. And in terms of some bills, we're also introducing bills related to protecting domestic violence survivors, environmental justice, workers' rights, and gambling. Some other things, we're introducing school meals for all, drug testing services statewide. There's a few things that we're introducing
in this current legislative session, to RSVP with our office for the Korean War veterans trip, and any other issues the community is having, please call our office at 718-822-2049. And my email is winstead@nysenate.gov. So winstead@nysenate.gov. Thank you and have a good evening.
All right, thank you very much. I think that we have all our representatives that are here have spoken. If there is anybody else that I missed, please speak up. So we'll go on to old business. Is there any old business?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so let's just recap real quickly the votes. Just for the record, so the ULIP application, the Bronx Metro North Stations, the total votes in favor of that motion were 25, against 5, 3 recusals. And then the cannabis, the smoking scholar cannabis license was the no objection to that license was 19 in favor, 12 against, 2 recusals. Also, yes, so they both passed as I suspected. And then in terms of the walkthrough with ESS, I have Kadian, Cynthia, Edgar, Phyllis, Malcolm, and Burnett who are interested. If you haven't told me you're interested, please do after the meeting.
Okay, great. Is there any new business?
Yes, I do.
You can go ahead, Debbie. Oh, go ahead, Mary. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to address something that I've heard relatively, not too frequently, but it is increasingly becoming more aware, or I'm becoming more aware of it, which is comments related to people being young leaders. And I think a lot of the time it's well-intended and it's a voice of frustration, but I want us to be mindful of that because I'm hearing it from members of the public and I'm hearing it sometimes from board members unintentionally, I think a lot of the time. And this is coming, I'm like the second youngest member on this board. It's disheartening because, the same demographics that are complaining that young people are not getting involved in their communities, in their legislative branches and whatever else that might be, are the same people that are also complaining about them being there. Thank you.
Great point, Mary. Just quick updates, because I
Malcolm, I also have something. Susan.
Oh, go ahead, Susan.
I don't know your name at the front and it's not you, but I want to know why on the sign-in sheet, mine says disabled remote. Everyone else is in person or remote, and I initialed because I'm here, but I don't know why everyone needs to know that I was disabled. That's why I was remote for a long time. And I said that, but it wasn't for everyone to know I was disabled. So I need that fixed and changed because no one needs to know my medical history. Just want to make that clear.
That is a great point. That is a HIPAA violation. So we should definitely get that fixed.
Well, so hold on. I mean, so let's be clear on this. So this is a holdover from last month. So that was an error. There's 2 people, right? And as far that's the only way you can legally attend remotely. It's not, I'm not telling anybody it's personal. I mean, that's the only way you can legally attend.
Why don't you just circle the person that I told that.
Yeah, we could do that. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
That's a great point. Make it quick. Juanita sent me a flyer for the City of Yes community presentation with the City Council Bronx delegation. I will share it out so it can be, it's very, okay, cool. Okay, awesome. So just put it out in public. It's on April 2nd at 6:30 to 8:30. So we'll put it on our Facebook page so everybody can see it. Edgar did send me some updates, things to add to the letter for the Metro North, like maps that I can use for the letter, which I will definitely use, and I definitely thank you for doing that. Just to outline, where some of our conditions will will affect. So thank you.
I'll be quick. I think at next leadership, we don't have enough people or time right now, but we should discuss quorum and what we need to do to fix quorum, not only here, but subcommittees, because it's become a serious problem. So I'll bring that up at next leadership. And for the Police Community Council, I appreciate that they have this meeting every month, but maybe they could come once every 2 months here, but I'll bring this up at leadership next time. That's all.
Just a second, sorry,
Hello.
Also, just really quickly about quorum, because I'm also really frustrated by it. I am a full-time graduate student and I also am a full-time employee. I work 9 to 5 and I go to school 9 to 5 on the weekends. I understand that we're all really busy, but if you're on this board, you need to make it a priority.
Anybody else? No? Okay, I don't think so. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.
9:51 PM, the meeting is ended.
Not bad.
Have a blessed weekend.
Real words.
So the official time for the meeting ending is 9:51.